it's a repeat of Worlds, potentially. We could actually see that. We could see Ataraxia and Prime take on Barracuda and Jeff at some point, and that's going to be exciting because it's just a rematch of Worlds.
That'd be a lot of fun here. And
have you ever seen this map, Tom?
Yeah, of course.
That's a lie, isn't it, Tom?
I have 11 minutes on Clash.
So the big important thing at the start is the red buff in the middle. Bonus experience. Get that early on. You get a bit of a lead.
Wubbin already had to use his Aegis. Wubbin playing Thoth guy over here, just targeting zeros. Adapting going to be rocking the Chronos. We see a couple of other players. Raffer is on that Morgan. That's surprising. I figured zeros would be rocking him.
Well, Raffer being in the Morgan means you've got that stealth, the sneaky aspect of this, but it also allows you to turn into whoever is winning the game. Panda's in a lot of trouble there. I like that juke away from the turret because he looked like he was going to telegraph in towards it. Early on, though, there's a little bit of a gold lead, not by much because the gold spooling in Clash is so high, gold will not matter. Everybody will get to full build, and everybody will get to level 20 because that's the way Clash is done.
So one thing I'm really not surprised about here is Panicat on the Habwa. You know what? The Hebo. It's a fun weekend.
Hebo?
Watching Panicat on the Hebo, he's actually played this in the Hunter role a number of times on stream in ranked. I'm not sure if he actually brought it out in competition, but I feel like he's the guy that would. So when it comes down to it, not surprised to see Panicat rocking this character.
Oh, I like the setup from Wubbin there, doing his supporting duties against an Arpwash for the time being. And that Arpwash by Benji, one of the strangest ones in terms of the picks here that we see coming out because everybody else has pretty much gone for the same sort of thing, but Arpwash is the standout.
You know, you say that, Hindu Man, but when it comes down to it, Deathwalker with the Arpwash solo, you know what? You can't try that in a regular game. Maybe Benji wants to test some things out here and see how it works out.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how this one continues going on now because the next big point of talking is going to be the 10-minute mark for me.
Yeah.
Because Apophis spawns then. And I'm hoping that the old group... Do you know who Apophis is?
Yeah, it's the guy from Mythology.
It's a giant snake, basically, that spawns in the center instead of a red buff at exactly 10 minutes.
Exactly.
And if anyone is in that circle, they will insta-die.
Yeah,
so, I want to see if there's going to be baits at the 10-minute mark between these two teams, because that's going to be exciting for me.
And you know, that's the key, is because we're sitting up here and we're telling jokes, but these are hardcore players. How many of them know the intricacies of Clash?
I don't know. I know some of the players will play it at times. And the one thing they're showing me so far is the Minotaurs understand that the red buff is important, but Titans, Pretty Prime, secured the buff as per usual and got a good Vulcan off.
Yeah, I mean, you give Pretty Prime the Vulcan. This is his sort of court right now. You know, he's on the Vulcan. It's fun to watch that one.
Now, this is the difference between your high-level play and your casual Clash games as well, just so you guys at home know. The difference is there's not been 10 deaths already. And generally in Clash by this time, you've probably seen a couple of deaths. Both these teams understand that dying early will put them behind, give the other team an advantage. A 4v5 is very big in every game mode.
Well, everybody basically has an Aegis except for Dimmy, who has Blink. And basically, we're seeing them go up real hard, hit everybody, Aegis, and then hang out in the back line.
I'm not really surprised by any of the picks either. Nothing stood out to me where I'm like, wow, he chose that? That's not really surprising.
Mask on the Chronos is the only one.
I really would like to see Ataraxia playing Giannis there.
Both junglers are playing Chronos.
Yes. That's generally probably because of the fact that they either want to play it if they could for their teams, or they just know it's got a lot of CC and a survivability because junglers generally, they have bumbers and they're so used to having bumbers and be able to re-sustain in the jungle. There's no real jungle in this, which means Rewind is the next best option.
That's pretty fair. One thing I do notice, you know, it's funny. You can take the caster out of the serious game, but you can't. The Watcher's Gift on Pretty Prime. This is very interesting. He's not expecting to clear the wave. He's looking just to poke the opposition, so he's gonna get that bonus.
Well, it's not just because of the fact that he's not going to be able to clear the wave outright early on anyway, and you're generally sharing it with 4 other mages, and so it's going to be very difficult to confirm the last hits to make sure you get all the gold. So why not pick up some more from Watchers, get a bit more sustain out of this build too, and it keeps you in lane longer, which means you get to farm more.
Right now, left-hand side, Minotaurs seem to be pushing up.
Ooh,
but there's the first blood, and it's Captain Titan Man himself, Ataraxia, bringing it down.
Captain versus Captain, and it's Ataraxia that wins that one for the time being. That comes into play nicely. Big old tough ult through the middle, but Panda just jukes it out. Zeros is running from Mask, but Mask wasn't looking at him. He wanted adapting. He's trying to prove he's a better jungler.
Rewind for Rewind, and now there's damage for Wubbin. Dashing forward, Zeros can't find it.
That's why he's an all-star. Managing to escape from a dangerous, tricky situation is Wubbin. Yes, I did get to say he's an all-star, and he survived, which is something unusual for the noble player.
Hey, man, Wubbin here, completely different world, which is, I think this is exciting, especially for a player like Wubbin. Oh, the dash away from it.
Oh! Ataraxia baits him in. The tower comes into play. Panda Cat needs to learn. And as a mage, you're not going to be a survivor if you take an auto attack from a tower at this stage. Ooh.
I mean, Artemis isn't going to survive that either, to be honest with you. So,
true,
Panda Cat suffering as per usual.
Just want you to know that Nate was so focused on surviving there that he didn't even get a single hit onto the Hebo, so nobody got the credit for that kill. Otherwise, Ataraxia will be 2 kills up in our very first NRG Invitational All-Star event.
On a serious note, watching that 180 dash, kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm missing Agni. I have missed seeing Agni, and seeing Agni in other game modes outside of Conquest, because he struggles there a little bit in the early phase is the reason. When you can keep continuing to drop bombs throughout the game, though, and get to that late stage, Agni's fantastic.
And now that we just poached Chaos from Polar Bear Mike's team, I mean, we're going to see even less Agni.
We're just trying to get rid of mages as a whole, if you notice. We're going to keep recruiting them, as many as we can. Prime's next on the list, I think.
Pretty Prime and Zeros aren't leaving.
Yeah, we could try. I mean, they're winning, though. The Europeans. North Americans don't win, so that's why they want to join high res.
Ah, I see.
That's the difference. Look at Aggro. Aggro couldn't win. He becomes a caster.
Zeros just dodges one, can't dodge the other. 2 for Team Titan. And Pretty Prime combines with his old teammate and puts another on the board.
Realistically, both these teams should be focusing the mid lane players. Pretty Prime and Zero should not survive because they're the hardest ones to deal with.
From a distance!
Prime takes out another one. Rafa just uses his ult there as well, you saw, to transform, and then just gets deleted straight after.
Just, hey man, look, I'm somebody else. You die all the same. Chronos v Chronos. Basics are good, but the Aegis is better. Mask has to turn tail now right into the minions. Still gonna get hit by the time rift. No time stop available. And Mask gonna jump his way to safety. Adapting still on the chase.
Well, the junglers really showing that they like to fight it out, and Mask trying to prove a point that's not working out for him so far. Ataraxia, though, stunned in place, and boom! Not from real downtown, but deep enough to pick up Ataraxia.
Raxia getting a little bit ahead of himself. Felt good. Not good enough to take on 1 versus 3. What are you thinking, Nate?
Oh, Pythag's piece already for Pretty Prime as well. Take into account that's an aura for your whole team. And that's the thing that I can see coming out from the Titans here a little bit more. Auras is what we're starting to see come through as well. You can also see Dimmy's on the way towards another aura, which reduce protections of the enemy team.
See, I'm on the side of Mask and Panda Cat with the Rangda's Mask. I mean, this is just going to be a slugfest, right? Yep. You're going to see mad kills, mad assists. Go with the crazy item that you don't get a chance to build in the regular games. And the Rangda's Mask, I think, is going to come up big for these players. Woman, he ain't no support. He's doing the carrying.
That's what happens when you give a support player an ultimate that can deal a hell of a lot of damage. And now Adapting's on the run as the blink from Dimmy's good to pick up with the fast hands, I should say, for a double kill for Dimmy.
I will never get tired of watching Hebo. For those of y'all that don't know, when I first started playing Smite, I played Hebo from level 0 to level 30. I still want to just play Hebo all day.
So Hebo is OP in this, for the simple reason of, you know which ability is the OP? His 4th ultimate.
His 4th ultimate.
Wet Paper is amazing in this game mode. The Atlas of the Yellow River removes slows, makes you slow immune when you're on it, and speeds you up and slows the enemy team down. It's so useful for all the slows that could potentially come out. Benji basically can't really go Gem of Isolation because Dimmy just goes, Wet Paper, I'm not really worried about it.
At the same time, though, you got to walk in a straight line, which just lines up the Zero zone.
That's true, potentially, but it's thick enough that you can juke out the ult if you're careful. And at the same time, Zero's, you know, only 1 kill so far. But building the Book of Toth, I like the fact that he's going to get those stacks online. Eventually.
The stacks don't matter. I'm more for the...
Listen, we're playing Clash, so the stacks matter. We're casuals here.
No, I'm going to go super casual. I like the thematic take on it. Thoth has his own book. 10 points to Zeros.
Panda has to ult defensively because Prime was right on the money again. And what a surprise to see Prime playing Vulcan. I am shocked. I've never seen him play that.
I want to point out Wubbin, like, you know, on the serious note, bringing out the big guns. He's hiding the window in the geometry of the map like a real seasoned mid laner would. I like seeing this stuff.
I don't think it's intentional. I know you said he's doing it on purpose. I'm like, no, that's probably by accident. He didn't mean to put it there.
Nah.
The main issue that Titans have is
well, he's not putting it nowhere right there. Raffer is smoking him out for kill number 4 for the Minotaurs.
It's messy. It's 6-4. The gold lead is still even because that's how it'll be the whole game. It's all about the towers. The objectives are really the big important thing. And look at that 9-minute mark. Keep an eye in the middle bit where Adapting is right now.
What goes up must come down. Raffer benches Dimmy for the 2nd time this season. Gets him with the ultimate.
Oh, Minotaurs are just taking power. Now Adapting going to be able to move up quicker, but can't find the last hit on Prime. Tier 1 tower being focused down now by the Minotaurs on the right-hand side. I say Tier 1, there's no Tier 2. So I should just say the tower.
Pretty Prime using the backfire to get out of jail. That's one of the more cool things you get to see on Vulcan.
Someone's got to die to mid now. We've got 25 seconds till it spawns. I just want someone to go mid and die and not realize what they're doing.
Well, Minotaurs.
Because we'll find out if so. Go on, Wubbin. Wubbin's going to be the one. It's going to be Wubbin.
It's not going to be Wubbin.
I hope it's Wubbin. I don't really. I don't want it to be Wubbin.
Yes, you do.
I don't. I don't want it to be Wubbin. Who's in the mid? Raph is in mid. Is Raph baiting? Raph might be baiting.
I hope it's Benji.
Oh, is someone going to die to it? I heard some giggles and a second or two ahead.
So I'm going to die in the spawn. Knockup is good. Mask gets hit by Panda Cat. We'll see you later.
That's what happens when you're a jungler who walks too far forward against 5 mages. You're going to disappear. Apotheosis spawn now, but nobody died to it for the time being. Hey, you know, we've got listeners today as well, you know.
Oh, do we?
We should be having a listen in, see how serious they're taking it.
Do we really have listeners?
I believe so.
You know what? Let's listen to
Minotaurs, maybe? It's on the screen.
Rock, paper, scissors. I win red team, you win blue team.
Well, I saw Minotaurs, so let's just go with them.
All right, sure.
Okay, so there is listenings, but nobody's actually talking.
Yeah, that wasn't
a tech issue. There was just nobody talking on Minotaurs. They're all so focused on their individual play. There's no comms.
I mean, hey, they're the first.
Is this how EU really win?
That's the team with first Rebel. They get the first tower of the game. Zero's lining up. Raxia still has the Aegis available. Come on, Zeros, you can count.
Now, I like the fact that we're going for 2 different build paths from the teams, too. I talked about Titan going for auras, potentially.
Sure.
Minotaurs is going straight up personal damage.
Oh, yeah, just
personal damage if they can. Apart from Rafa, who's going a little bit more tankier, going for the Onis for a little bit of magic resistance.
That's the support.
And that's generally what supports do. Plus, his CCs. The funny thing about the Onis is it does give mitigations if you get a CC around other people.
Yep.
But there's not a whole lot of CC Rafa's got, realistically.
I mean, he's got the Morgan, the triangle, the little stab.
The triangle? Is that what... We're going to call it that?
The triangle.
No. I can't do that noise.
You can't do that.
I don't think I could do that noise.
But it's a triangle. It comes up and he stabs it, and then we lose the broadcast.
So we see gold per minute on the left-hand side. I want to see player damage. Can we see player damage? I want to know who's dealing deeps in this game. Ward's place, that's more important. One ward.
Why
go back to
that? Play
That's a true support. That's a world champion there. Rafa placed the ward.
I only care about net worth. Please just show me net worth the entire game.
No, we're not adapting. We don't care about that. Let's move on. I want to see player damage.
Actually, I think experience per minute is the superior statistic.
In Clash, sure. Let's go for it. But no. Time spent dead, 83 seconds. 83 seconds dead for Dimmy.
I forgot we have a new spectator on the clock today.
I know, so we're just like running in through it. Player damage, 7,500 player damage for Benji on the Alpwash.
No surprise there. He's going to be able to hit all of the AoE. I mean, he's going to hit the entire map with his abilities.
But Mask, we've got to talk about your mage play. We're going to have to talk about Mask Mage play here. He's the lowest damaging person in this game. There is supports in this game too. Just want to mention that. But Mask is at the tail end of all of these 10 mages.
I do love the fact that Raffer's placed 2 wards. You just can't take it out of him.
Support play, man. It's so important. Vision is everything, and world champions know that. Oh, Raffer's going in for Ataraxia.
You can see the whole map from the fountain. You don't need a ward.
Well, it's Dimmy that's going to take more of the damage. Oh, Jukes out the ult of his own. Aegis to buy him a second, but Mask is there for the cleanup. Daps is there for the cleanup. Mask, meanwhile, did pick up zeros at the same time.
He heard you right there, Mask. He's like, listen, man, I'm going to do it. Frenzy means fight. Pretty Prime gets out of there, but not long enough. Benji smacks him down one more time. Raffer continuing the Wrath of Terror for the minions. Gets team number 10. Make that 11 on the board.
Oh, round the corner comes Benji looking for Wubbin, who's low on mana too. The shell early on to give him some extra health. But in comes Adapting to take a couple of shots, and boom goes the corpses, and Benji gets a kill.
Real talk, I actually really like that play. Benji goes through and tanks the tower, knowing that he's going to be able to heal up with the corpses.
And Warlock Sash, don't forget as well. He's very tanky with that extra health he's got.
Apopsis gets the kill.
That's because Panda Cat doesn't know how to tank it. That was the issue. He's not worked out the systems that are in place for Apophis, and the damage he deals is a lot bigger. Anyway, enough of us. Let's try another listening, because I want to see if this time the Titans are talking. Let's have a listen.
I'm gonna get a Heavenly Wind on one.
I don't think it's that strong.
Just like the fuck I'm gonna get a Heavenly Wind.
Yeah, we gotta like, we gotta
just
probably
like
all
the
in one
fuck
of
the
these fights, right?
outwash. Like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, we gotta like, we gotta probably all in one of these fights, right?
Yeah,
we need to be grouped up.
We were like, we killed one person on left and then killed one person.
Pretty sure we're getting like forced on by.
Tofta has no shit up right now. So
yeah. We could definitely fight. Top middle. Or top left. Raffer's left.
Top dash.
Yeah. Can we get on him?
Not really.
I have a blink.
Dash on a death. I think more is there.
Fuck Raptor.
I have ult in 3 seconds.
Mask really coming in there in the clutch, really just being the captain here for this team. Ataraxia strangely silent.
Well, to be fair, you heard them both. You heard Prime speak, well, Ataraxia speak, and you heard Mask speak. And the good news is for tomorrow, they're the sort of voices you want to hear on the comms too. So Mask getting his voice out there with his team now is actually big for tomorrow. In this game, though, taking it more serious than I expected, I guess, in one way, because they're actually calling out when things like the Toth dash is on cooldown. That's important. That's like high-level play where you're like, it's on cooldown, we should be committing now before he can get it up again.
Listen, man, I told you, it's all fun and games, and then you start playing, and then when you start losing...
Oh, then you got issues. Then you're like, hang on a second. We shouldn't be losing this. Prime with a lazy back there gets himself caught with a bit of damage from Benji, who is top of the damage.
There's a triangle. Raffer with the triangle.
You're right, it is. I wasn't saying it was a triangle. It's also 3 people as well, if you didn't know.
Yeah, it's...
Wobbin.
Don't be obtuse.
Lightly up. Well, I wasn't being obtuse at all. I was just saying there's 3 people.
I'm just saying he's got the right angle.
Okay. He's got more than one right angle if it's a perfect triangle.
Is there a point for
I think we're taking this less like serious than the players are right now. As Benji's going to dive in deep, tank the tower.
That's a big play.
Minions, though, have got the aggro of the tower. The tower's starting to be chipped down, and Minotaurs are winning this engage. Ataraxia's dead.
Oh, adapting gets the kill. That big play coming out from the Minotaurs. Benji's choice of Opwash might have won this game. They did the same thing on the tower, on the right side as they did on the left side.
Zone.
They push up forward, zone with the Crypts, and then take down the structure.
Wobbin showing off that he can play a couple of mages. That's better than his Guardian play all year, that one.
Ouch.
That was perfect. Zeros just got removed, and Zeros did not expect that from a support.
No, this is what's fun is because, you know, Wobbin's on a lower-end team rocking the Noble jersey, and we see him in that team environment. But keep in mind, you know, these are still professional players, man.
Let me go back to it. I'm joking about Wobbin. It's
know
great
you
to
are.
see. No, but the viewers at home might be like, why is Hindu just ribbing Wobbin all the time? It's just more like seeing supports do well. I'm looking forward to seeing Jeff later on. Jeff doesn't get to play a Guardian in any of the game modes if he takes part, apart from in the Conquest one.
So players like Wobbin and Raffer, they are, how we say, well-rounded.
Sure.
Jeff plays
Raffer.
Guardians and Honor. That's it.
Oh, Bracer came into play to keep Ataraxia alive, and Raffer committed a little bit too deep as turning into the Hebo. Adapting's going to take out Dimmy in response. Mask is at half health. Adapting pushing forward, looking for an extra kill if he can find it. And Mask is now 1 hit from death.
Still going to be taken out. There's the knock-up. Adapting with the delayed damage from Time Stop. Gets the kill. Watch out for Panican on the right. Still dealing damage with the knock-up. And Pretty Prime surrounded by mages. Triple kill for Adapting.
And meanwhile, in the left-hand lane, Zero's being a typical mid laner, refusing to rotate. I see this in my Clash games all the time.
Splitting.
Lack of rotation, wants to farm up and try and take a Phoenix in his own, as Ataraxia is still defending against 2.
Hey, man. Got a split push. Building stacks. I know he has 75, but I'm just saying build stacks.
So when coming into this game, I kind of expected, you know, overall in the tournament...
He got the Phoenix!
He did. That's important.
First Firebird goes down because Zeros refuses to play with the team.
Now, do you know what spawns now instead, now that the Phoenix is down? Apophis minions. Apophis minions now spawn. And those Apophis minions have the tentacles that come out of them, Tom.
That's crazy.
And actually whack at the minions that deal a lot more damage.
It's so much fun watching those guys come out after this play. I'm excited to see what those tentacles are able to do here on the left-hand side of the map. But you're baiting me, aren't you?
Did you really believe there was tentacles that came out the arms?
You're baiting me so hard.
This is what you get for not playing the other game modes. You need to understand what goes on. I mean, you've not seen the Kraken yet, so don't worry about it. The Kraken spawns at 20 minutes in the middle, and he'll fight Apophis.
Yeah, and then at 25 minutes, everybody turns into a Masigno, and everybody brings home Togepi. Right-hand
Why are you
side,
releasing the next
Titans here. Blink forward.
Oh,
this
Frenzy
is the
means
all-in
fight.
Hail Mary. Pretty Prime gets the kill. Benji's going to die next. Raffer answers back, but it's a 1 for 2.
Well, 1 for 2 works out well because they've taken out the solo laner and the hunter, but Zero's over the wall, gets a good stun on Dimmy, has to Aegis. Meanwhile, Raffer's stunned in place, tries to turn into another target and gets the Aegis off in time. Raffer
2 for
survives as Zeros was just working the back line.
Wobbin getting hit. Zeros has 3. Raffer ults just to close the
Wobbin.
distance. Wobbin with the 180, but it's still Team Minotaurs. I loved the play coming out from Titans, but just a little bit too short.
Is this game going to end right now?
It just might be.
Do you know if they can end, Tom?
Absolutely. They just have to take this guy out.
And that's right, they will take this guy out. The guy at the end of the map, which is also known as a Titan, falls down. Minotaurs take the very first game